Hey, Brendan here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another 2024 rookie report. And today, Jason DiRienzo, my podcast co host, we are going to break down Mr. Roman Wilson, senior Michigan wide receiver, had a great senior bowl. Twitchy athlete, right? He got a deep wide receiver class this year. Where does he fit in with everybody? Well, we're going to go over his PFF grades, his stats. We're going to go over his in depth scouting report. We watched a bunch of all 22 film together, got a really good look at Wilson. We're going to go over draft capital. We're going to go over his dynasty projections, some player comps. We're going to have fun. If you're going to look on this channel, man, we have done a ton of rookie reports and have probably a lot more before the draft gets here. So you play dynasty, you play fantasy, you're looking for a YouTube channel out there. It's going to give you a look at the 2024 class and beyond. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the show. All right, Jason, let's talk about Mr. Roman Wilson, another Senior Bowl star. I know you were down there, which is always great. I'm sure you're going to provide some insight. 5'10", 186 senior receiver from Michigan. Let's get into his career statistics. 91 receptions, 1,300 yards, 17 TDs, 14.7 average. Played out of the slot 58%, was out wide 42% versatility. We like that in players. Reception percentage, 70%. That's pretty solid. He's got some sticky hands, only had 5 drops through his 4-year career. That's only 5.2%. His PFF grades, receiving grade, really nice, 84.5 in the higher percentile. Contested catch rate, we're going to talk about. We put these PFF grades on here, but you got a 37.5. I might have a little I'm not sure I agree with that, what I saw on film, but his grade versus man coverage, 75.5. That is in over the 80 percentile too. This is a staggering thing. And this is one of the things when we get to Roman Wilson's scouting report, I want to talk about. 2 missed tackles forced. These PFF grades, by the way, are for this season. Ranked 453rd. I didn't even know there was that many wide receivers like in college football, frankly. But yeah, he
Now we
had
know.
2. Yeah, we're now to 2 missed tackles for us, which is kind of crazy. Average depth of target 13.9, ranked 113th, and yards after catch 4.6 in the 300th. So he is down there. So I don't know, any of those statistics, anything kind of stand out? He wasn't the most productive player, right? I mean, this is the only
Right.
year he I think he had 700 plus yards this year, but the previous 3 years, I don't think he got over 350 yards, maybe 400. So he's a really a
Yeah.
late bloomer in Michigan. And we know Michigan's a running team. So, maybe there wasn't the opportunity. I'm going to let you start it off with the scouting report. So we ended up watching, by the way, when we're doing these shows, I had all 22 films. We watched his Ohio State game, his Alabama game, and his Iowa game. So from a scouting report, why don't you kick us off? What do you see with Roman Wilson? What are his translatable traits? What gets you excited when you watch him?
I mean, we'll start if he's in the slot, I really like the explosive first step that he has. I think he can really get into the cushion of the defender and manipulate with some body gestures, head fakes, hip thrusts, either executing a 1 or 2 step in order to break in, maybe on those shallow crosses and drags. I really think that he has the quickness and acceleration to eat into that cushion of zone coverage, get the ball, and then gain additional yards after the catch in open space. I feel really good about his yak ability in open space. When it comes to him being on the outside, because he was versatile, he played on the outside and he played in the slot. On the outside, I do like that acceleration again. And I think he knows exactly how to rhythm and time the execution while he's eating into the cushion of the defender. And then as soon as he gets maybe about a yard out, knowing exactly when to execute the manipulation in order to get inside or outside leverage, to either get to the perimeter or get inside. So I really like the separation ability. I think he's a natural separator. It doesn't seem like he has to think too much. He's not wasting any movement. It's just very quick twitch to me. So that part I like. I think he's got really good hands. He can snag the ball outside of his frame at difficult angles, which I really like. As far as contested catch ability, I mean, there wasn't a lot of opportunities, but the opportunities I saw, I thought he did pretty good. I didn't
Me
have
too.
any questions about the contested catches that he
Yeah.
made, and I don't think he had enough opportunities to really say whether he's good or bad. But from what I saw, I have no problems with this contested catch. I actually really think he's got great hands and he's got good awareness and concentration when catching outside of his frame. Some of the issues, I'll let you kind of go into what you thought, but I think that part of just the intelligence, I think he's a high IQ type of receiver because you could absolutely see the timing, the rhythm in his route. He doesn't go too fast, he doesn't go too slow. He knows exactly how to time and rhythm the pace within his route stem to know when to execute the manipulation and separate. And I think he's going to get open quite a bit next level.
I like it. Yeah, I just to follow up on you said on the things that I saw on film that I like, his strong, reliable hands, the body control, and the ability to adjust. I mean, JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy wasn't the most accurate passer, and he really
Wow.
had to make some adjustments to the ball, which he seemed very fluid in that. Especially, he had some really high grab. I think he's tough as freaking nails. I mean,
I
he
do
on
too.
two of those films, he went up after the ball, knew he was going to get hit, worked the middle of the field. So I think he's a really just tough physical player from that standpoint. He's got speed, right? Player
Mhm.
profile had him at 4.340, right? So, but
Wow.
I got a stat for you, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Over his 4 seasons, he had only 3 plays over 50 yards in four
You know what?
seasons.
That doesn't necessarily surprise me from the film I watch. I don't here's the weird thing. I don't think Michigan uses their receivers traditionally, which is why, like, even Cornelius Johnson, like, I'm watching a couple of these receivers, and I'm thinking,
Mhm.
these guys are good, and they gotta play tough because they are asked to block a lot because they're such a run-heavy team. So the toughness, the competitiveness is absolutely there. Dude, I think he's gonna be a much better receiver in the NFL than he was in Michigan, and I think he was just capped. I don't think he was asked to do a lot. I don't think he had a
Mhm.
lot of yards after the catch opportunity either.
Yeah, well, that was one of the knocks on him was his yards after the catch. I didn't see a lot of that on the 3 films, and really I watched him all season long, watching
Yeah,
Michigan. Obviously, I mean, there was just, like, no chunk plays. I mean, yeah, he got what he got, but, I mean, I didn't see a really an elusive, you know, athlete with the ball in his hand. So I don't know if he's gonna be an explosive player necessarily. I think he's gonna be more of like a possession receiver, in the
yeah,
slot.
I can
And
see that.
you talked about his route tree ability, and man, I tell you, it's just like it was 10 yards, 15 yards, like 20 yards. It was just I wish I could have seen some go routes, right? I mean, I wish I could have
Right.
seen some
Yeah.
real vertical play, and I just don't understand why that wasn't. I know what kind of offense they run, but man, I really wish, because if he's got the speed that everyone's talking that he has, I mean, they just completely underutilized him as an athlete on the field to just like go on those, get some big explosion plays. It just didn't happen all season. But listen, he's going to be an exciting player nonetheless. I think people are really excited about him. Went down to the Senior Bowl. Really, I think you said he played, one day, and then he pretty much, kick his feet and put him up on the desk because he had such a great day route running. So he's definitely going to be a space creator. It's going to see. Yeah, I think people are going to like what they see, but they're not going to probably like our comps when we get to that segment of the show. So let's get to let's get to his
Mostly.
draft capital here, and what we think and where we think. I think he's going to be in the third round to fifth round. I don't think he's a day two guy personally. Do you think third and fifth round anywhere? Or,
You
I'm
know what?
sorry. He
I
could
think
maybe get into the late second round as a third rounder, but I think he's more likely like a day three guy, early day three guy.
I think it's gonna come down to the team and what kind of scheme he fits. Like, let's put it this way. The 49ers want run blocking receivers that understand how to utilize blocking assignments because they run so heavily. The
Mhm.
Packers are the same way. They ask the receivers to block a lot. So I could see him being a guy that is higher on some of these boards because of his run block ability, the toughness, and because he's just a natural separator. I think third to fifth is good, but it would not surprise me if he goes somewhere in the third round. Not surprise me at all.
All right. Super flex rookie drafts. Third round, or you think he sneaks into the second?
Uh, That's a tough one. It's such a deep class. I think 3rd, mid-3rd, late 3rd is probably safe for right now considering, how many receivers we have and how deep it goes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think third round is probably where he is going to go, unless he gets just like an early draft capital that just really surprises everyone. All right, let's
Yeah.
disappoint everybody with our our dynasty comps here. I'm going to start us off. Listen, I'm going to go. I was a Kyle Phillips fan from you at UCLA. He went to the West Shrine Bowl, and this exact same time of year in the draft cycle, he was uncoverable down there, went to the Titans and just completely fell off. Now, I thought he was a physical player. Roman Wilson is a little bit maybe more physical, but I'll tell you, Kyle Phillips was a route runner. Now, he's just not
Mm.
able to stay healthy, but they're similar in size. They're the twitchy athlete, good hands, tough receivers down in the middle of the field. I hope that he has a much better career than Kyle Phillips. I'm expecting him to, but from a player comp, like player kind of mold standpoint, that's where I kind of see them very similar in their play styles. I was a really big Kyle Phillips fan. I mean, obviously it didn't work out for me. But Roman Wilson and Kyle Phillips, I kind of see them as very, very similar players.
I could absolutely see that. I have Dante Pettis, and it's kind of what you just said. It's the mold of the player. Like I think Dante Pettis was a natural separator. He lived as far as being a manipulator and creating space and getting open. Just nothing really developed from that. So that's Dante Pettis. Roman Wilson could be exactly what we wanted from Dante Pettis coming out because he had some of the same exact type of hype that we're talking with Roman Wilson. So I'd see 2 similar players as far as being natural separators with sure hands.
All right, let the comments come in, guys. That's let
Here we
them
go.
let them roll, baby. All right, guys,
Yeah,
that's Roman Wilson. Listen, he's good. He's in the middle of the pack in the wide receivers, man. That's where we see
yeah,
him, and it's his situation and landing spots matter. So it's really going to depend
absolutely.
on where he lands, what kind of offense he's in, what other receivers there, what kind of quarterback he has. So much plays a role into this. We're kind of really guessing until we get the all important landing spots and draft capital. So there is our Roman Wilson rookie report.